Have you ever heard the sound of one of these?
Well, this is a mosquito device, a device often found outside shops or in public places where young people hang around.
What's really strange about this device is that it can only be heard by people under the age of 20 and was specifically designed to discourage teenagers from congregating around local trouble spots.
So for those of you who are older and can't hear the sound, we thought we'd try and describe it for you.
The mosquito device is like just a high-pitched noise.
I think the mosquito device sounds like a squeaking mouse.
The mosquito device to me sounds like a fly near my eardrum, but then after a while it's like swatted away.
But if that doesn't give you a good enough idea, to young people the mosquito device sounds a little bit like this. Pretty annoying, isn't it? So how do the people affected by the mosquito device feel about it? We spoke to some young people to get their views.
I think it's like good, yeah, for like the shop owners and that, because obviously like they get intimidated by gangs and that. But it's a bit like discrimination against like young people, because all young people have to hear it.
So do you think that these kind of sounds should be allowed outside shops?
I guess they could be, but I'm sure most people would prefer it if they weren't allowed.
So do you think that these should be banned then?
I wouldn't say ban, because I guess it could, it does keep people at bay, but it probably wouldn't be a bad thing if they did get banned.
Do you think it's fair that they have them on shops that have bus stops right outside?
No, I don't think it's fair, because you've always... it's not really fair on the people waiting for the bus and like people with children and all that, but then you need it really to get the kids away. But I don't think it's fair.
But young people aren't the only ones who dislike the mosquito device. Sir Al Ainsley Green is the Children's Commissioner for England, and he told us why he thinks the mosquito device violates the rights of young people.
What are your reasons for disliking the mosquito device?
I think there are several things to say, Claire. First of all, it is completely indiscriminate. In other words, any young ear, under about the age of 25 or so, any young ear can hear this.
Yeah.
And so it would affect any child, even very small babies and toddlers, as well as children who are causing perhaps trouble, as well as those who are not causing trouble. So it's completely indiscriminate. And if there was the same kind of device that was targeted towards the elderly or people of a different colour or whatever, there would be uproar. But much more important, the second reason, Claire, is that it's not sorting out the problem.
Yeah.
And the argument for using it is that it's to stop kids gathering where they're making a nuisance. But I think we need to tackle the real central problem here, which is why do kids gather where they do gather, and how can adults work with them to make sure they do have somewhere safe to go, something to do, and to make sure they're being respected for their views in our society. It can be done.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, many thanks, guys.
However, not everybody feels this way. We interviewed the shopkeeper to find out his views on the device he keeps outside his shop.
Why did you decide to put a mosquito device on your shop?
Because we have, lots of kids hang around this area before, so we've been told police lots of times. Then they said, okay, this is the first time they want to try like this, Then they suggested this, then we agreed.
Did the mosquito device work?
It was actually, because we noticed, lots of kids dispersed from this area because of the noise or whatever the frequency. And some of them recently come and ask what kind of noise, so we said we don't know anything about it.
What sort of problems were you having before with kids?
Gathering a group, making noise, intimidation for the customers. That's the mainly,
So, next time you're walking past a shop, think about your views.
Or ask your friends about their views. You'll be surprised at how different their opinions are on the mosquito device. Buzz!